From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, November 26th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,225 per ounce. Zen is trading at $6, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,785. Antiwar.com reports tensions between Russia and Ukraine are once again soaring, with reports that Russia has seized 3 Ukrainian naval vessels off the coast of the Crimean Peninsula over the weekend. Crimea is de facto under Russian control, but Ukraine considers it part of their territory. Earlier in the day on Sunday, Ukraine accused Russian ships of ramming their tugboat in the Sea of Azov and opened fire on their gunships, entering 2. Russia claims that the Ukrainian ships were illegally in Russian waters at the time and that the sea was closed for security reasons. Ukraine, which has been talking up war with Russia for years, is quickly escalating, with the National Security and Defense Council planning a midnight session at which they intend to declare war on Russia and will urge Parliament to impose martial law across Ukraine, a vote which will happen Monday. What this declaration of war would mean remains to be seen, as Ukraine clearly lacks the military to fight a land war with Russia. The martial law measure would likely be a pretext to launch an attack on ethnic Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. The boats involved in the incident were identified as a BK-02 Berdyansk and BK-03 Nikopol, 2 small Gyurza M-class artillery boats, and the Yani Kapu tugboat. Ukraine has a limited navy, particularly since the Crimean secession of 2014, as most of the naval assets held there were given to the Russian Federation. Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports U.S. authorities shut the country's busiest border crossing and fired tear gas into Mexico on Sunday to repel Central American migrants approaching the U.S. border after President Donald Trump vowed the asylum seekers would not easily enter the country. Traffic in both directions was suspended for several hours at the San Ysidro port of entry between San Diego and Tijuana, according to U.S. officials, which disrupted trade at the most heavily trafficked land border in the Western Hemisphere. Pedestrian crossings and vehicle traffic later resumed, according to officials. Tensions on the border had been rising in recent days, with thousands of Central American migrants who arrived in a caravan camped out in a sports stadium in Tijuana. On Sunday, Mexican police broke up the latest in a series of daily protests, triggering a rush towards the U.S. border. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers stopped the migrants with a volley of canisters emitting large clouds of gas as U.S. and Mexican government helicopters clattered overhead. The Mexican government said it had retaken control of the border crossing after nearly 500 migrants tried to cross the U.S. border in a violent manner and vowed to immediately deport Central Americans who attempted to enter the U.S. illegally. Trump has raised alarm for weeks about the caravan of Central American migrants as it approached the United States, with its members planning to apply for asylum once reaching the country. The mostly Honduran migrants are fleeing poverty and violence and have said that they would wait in Tijuana until they could request asylum in the United States, despite growing U.S. measures to tighten the border. Hundreds of caravan members, including women and children, protested peacefully on Sunday with chants of "We aren't criminals, we are hard workers." As they neared the border, they were stopped by Mexican authorities who told them to wait for permission. Groups of migrants, some of them bearing the Honduran flag, broke off and headed towards the border fence, where U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers gathered on the other side, backed by U.S. military, San Diego police, and the California Highway Patrol. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection said on Twitter they responded with tear gas after the migrants threw projectiles. Trump had deployed military forces to the border to support the Border Patrol and threatened on Sunday to close the entire southern border. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at FPPRadio.com.